Set in the town of Paradise, Northern California, the story begins by introducing a school bus driver named Kevin, who is seen taking the children home. After finishing his route, Kevin immediately heads back to the bus depot.
963 to base, Clifton Road dropped.
Dry and windy. Still no sign for Butte County and surrounding 8.
Before heading home, Kevin meets his employer, the lady boss. The plump woman appears to be busy on the phone. Amid his financial struggles, Kevin asks for extra work hours, hoping to increase his income. But guess what the lady boss's response is?
I could sure use the extra this month.
If anything comes up, I'll let you know.
Copy.
It is known that Kevin is divorced, as his wife chose a wealthier man who could support her lavish lifestyle. Now Kevin lives with his elderly mother and his teenage son. As a result of Kevin and his wife's divorce, their son, Sean, has become lazy and refuses to continue his studies. He spends all day playing games on his phone. Kevin tries to reason with him, explaining that he works hard every day, while Sean refuses to go to school. But Sean rejects his father's advice, and it ends with Kevin losing his temper.
Talk to me.
Hey, listen to me. I don't have a choice. You know what it's like to not have something.
Of course it's not, Dad.
The next morning, at exactly 6:15, strong winds began to blow. The gusts accidentally caused an electrical pole panel to spark, igniting flames that set the grass and ground surface on fire. As a result, a wildfire broke out, and the strong winds quickly accelerated its spread. The fire department was immediately alerted through surveillance cameras installed at several locations. The operator quickly contacted the firefighters, urging them to head to the scene right away. Back to Kevin, who was busy picking up children from their homes to take them to school. After dropping the students off, Kevin, who was about to return to the depot, suddenly received a call from his mother, telling him that Sean was down with a fever and vomiting. Before he could deal with that, Kevin got another call, this time from the lady bosses, asking him to return to the depot immediately, because the mechanic was waiting to perform maintenance on the bus he was driving.
Okay, just need to fuel up first.
Copy that, boss.
That wasn't all. Kevin had to summon even more patience when he stopped to refuel. Not only did he have to wait in a long line, but his mother kept calling, asking what she should do. She was elderly and frail, unable to do much on her own, so she pleaded with Kevin to come home as soon as possible.
No. Look, it can't be 111. Sean, get on the phone. I need his mom, huh?
Kevin continued driving toward the depot as the lady boss called him once again, insisting that he return as quickly as possible. As for Sean, Kevin told his mother to wait a little longer. He would stop by a pharmacy to buy some fever medicine for his son.
725.
No.
He says he wants me to.
After buying fever medicine from the pharmacy, Kevin received another call, this time from his ex-wife, Sean's mother. She scolded Kevin, calling him a terrible father. Sean had apparently complained to her that he was sick while his dad was too busy working. Kevin's ex-wife kept nagging and blaming him for not paying enough attention to their son. She even threatened to take custody of Sean if Kevin didn't come home immediately to take care of him.
I'm coming home right now.
Let's leave Kevin's situation for a moment and turn to the firefighters who had just arrived at the scene of the blaze. They were utterly shocked to see the fire rapidly consuming almost the entire forest along the hillside. Moreover, due to the strong winds sweeping through the area once again, they realized the fire would only grow larger. As a result, the firefighters decided to turn back and call the central station for reinforcements, requesting the deployment of all available units.
Orville engine 20. We're gonna head back up the ridge and see if we can...
Switching to the fire department leaders who had just arrived near the wildfire site, they appeared alarmed upon realizing that the flames could quickly spread throughout the entire town of Paradise. Not wanting to cause widespread panic among the residents, the fire chiefs decided not to initiate a full evacuation just yet. Instead, they deployed 2 water bomber planes to try to contain the spreading fire.
Need to get bus 963 into the garage or you're gonna
Copy. Heading southbound on Jordan Hill. Air attack. Air tankers. Engines are 10 minutes out. Give me an update on that drop.
Come on. Come on.
Low impact. Fire spot. Do you copy? We can't stop it.
Due to the extremely strong winds, the 2 planes were unable to stop the fire spread. After some time, the command center received a call from a firefighter who happened to be in the affected zone. He reported that the fire had already reached residential areas and was engulfing nearly all the houses there. He said he didn't have time to retreat and chose instead to help rescue as many residents as he could who were still trapped in the area.
Let's go! Leave your bags. I can't run the car now. Heading out of Concow Road. Everyone follow each other. Okay. Let's go.
After evacuating several residents he managed to find, the firefighters struggled to find another route out of the burning zone. Spotting a river ahead, he instructed the residents to get out of his vehicle and jump into the water to protect themselves from the approaching flames.
Get in the water now! Stay calm and stop!
Switching to a school located closest to the fire's origin point, there were about 23 students who hadn't gone home yet because their parents were unable to reach them following the evacuation warning. The students needed to be transported to a designated pickup point, an elementary school located roughly 10 minutes away from there.
Apparently their system went down and they weren't able to get it up.
Since the teachers' and principals' cars couldn't possibly fit all the students, Mary decided to call the lady boss, the owner of the bus depot, hoping she could send one of her buses to transport the children. Without hesitation, the lady boss immediately broadcast the message over the radio system, looking for a driver who could take on the job.
Ponderosa Elementary. Their parents cannot make it in to pick them up.
Of all the drivers still on the road, Kevin was the only one whose bus wasn't carrying any passengers. All the other buses were already full. This put Kevin in a difficult position. He had to choose between going home to give medicine to his sick son or saving 23 students who needed to be taken to their parents. On top of that, his ex-wife kept pressuring him, saying he was an irresponsible father and threatening to take Sean to live with her and her new husband if Kevin couldn't properly take care of their son.
963 to base, I can get him.
Yep, I remember. So,
And Kevin chose to pick up the 23 students so they could be reunited with their parents. Despite the severe traffic jam, Kevin finally reached the location and immediately met Mrs. Mary to transport the students to the designated pickup point.
Okay. Kids, this is our bus driver, Kevin. Can we say hi to Kevin? All right. Backpacks, okay? We're good.
It's got to be at least 15 miles.
At the same time, the fire department chief had just arrived at the command center to coordinate with all relevant parties. His main directives were to ensure that all residents were immediately evacuated to safe areas and to request that the power company shut down the electricity. Besides posing a danger to the firefighters working in the field, active power lines could also threaten residents who were still in the area.
Just get the power off in the town. We'll take care of the rest.
Okay, listen.
The lady boss herself was busy checking each of the bus buses that had returned to the depot one by one. Out of all the buses that had come back, Kevin was the only driver who had not yet returned, as he was currently stuck in traffic among the residents who were fleeing the wildfire.
The fire trucks are...
Due to the power outage in several areas, the radios and communication devices stopped functioning. This made it impossible for Kevin to contact the depot. Seeing how the main roads were severely jammed with no clear idea of when traffic would clear, Kevin decided to take an alternative route, a choice that caused tension for Mrs. Mary and the students on board.
Touchdown, everybody!
Traffic is moving.
The lady boss was still at the depot, repeatedly trying to reach Kevin to find out whether he had arrived yet. At the same time, a radio alert warned that the depot would soon be within the wildfire zone. With no time to spare, the lady boss and her staff had to evacuate the area immediately.
The wildfire had now reached the smoldering stage, filling the entire town of Paradise with smoke and making it as dark as night. Traffic congestion worsened, and the firefighters were growing increasingly panicked. Kevin, who had mistakenly thought the alternative route would be safer, found it wasn't. Most people had taken the same route, thinking it would get them to their destination faster. After being stuck in traffic for half an hour, and with the children starting to panic, Kevin felt he needed to get off the bus and asked Mrs. Mary to take the wheel. He approached a firefighter at the intersection to find out the cause of the traffic jam. It turned out that a fire truck was blocking the way. The crew refused to move because they had to continue fighting the fire. Rather than waste time arguing with them, Kevin chose to help manage the traffic so his bus could pass through safely. Once they cleared the traffic jam, Mrs. Mary finally smiled, knowing they were just a minute away from their destination. The students were asked to get ready and make sure they hadn't left anything behind, as they were about to be reunited with their parents waiting at the pickup point.
And disaster struck. The elementary school designated as the pickup point had been completely burned down. None of the students' parents were there to meet them, as all residents had already been ordered to evacuate to safer locations.
They're not here. There's no one here. Sit down.
Switching to the fire department headquarters, which had still not managed to evacuate all the residents of Paradise, around 30,000 people remained trapped in the city. Shortly after, the chief received a report from several field officers about live electrical wires still sparking. As a result, representatives from the power company were summoned and pressured to shut down all electricity in the city immediately.
I thought the power was off. Shut the f***ing power off! What the f*** is wrong with you? I got firefighters in there!
Back to Kevin, faced with the fact that staying put or turning back onto the already jammed road wasn't an option, Mrs. Mary, holding a map, found an alternative route that could at least get them out of the wildfire zone. The path was narrow, winding through forests and hillsides, but it was the only quickest way for them to escape the danger. After several minutes of driving through slightly improved traffic, Kevin and the passengers faced a tense moment as utility poles and power lines began collapsing onto the road.
Whole road's coming down.
After that, everyone panicked as looters began to appear, carrying firearms. They scrambled to find any functioning vehicles, including the bus Kevin was driving. As a result, fortunately, Kevin was able to control the situation and quickly drive away. Meanwhile, at the evacuation site, the lady boss had just arrived and immediately began searching for Kevin and her missing bus. All the other drivers claimed they didn't know or hadn't seen Kevin arrive, leaving the lady boss in a difficult position as she was now responsible to the students' parents waiting there.
Everybody, please,
I know. To trust him. I trust him.
Back to Kevin. As the wildfire grew stronger, smoke slowly began seeping into the bus through the ventilation system. They were forced to turn off the air conditioning, which made the temperature inside the bus sweltering. As a result, the children started complaining about the heat and thirst, so Kevin and Mrs. Mary had to find water to keep them calm and comfortable. At a gas station and convenience store, Mrs. Mary prepared to get out and look for water, while Kevin was asked to stay on the bus and watch over the children. In case Mrs. Mary didn't return, at least Kevin would be there to take care of the kids. Just as Mrs. Mary found a case of bottled water, Kevin accidentally noticed a fuel tank nearby. At the same time, strong winds were carrying flames from a distance until finally, after Mrs. Mary returned, the fire began spreading due to the spilled fuel, but Kevin remained calm and managed to find a way out. After leaving the residential area, Kevin now had to struggle across a hillside where even a slight slip could mean certain death for all of them. After navigating the narrow path, Kevin encountered several residents heading in the opposite direction. One of them warned that the route Kevin intended to take ahead was already engulfed by fire. Likewise, Kevin warned the residents not to go backward, as conditions there were just as dangerous. In the end, everyone continued on their chosen paths.
Everything is burning. Everything. There's no way out. Hey, we're gonna take our chances. Good luck.
After the person had left, a hesitant Kevin got off the bus to see for himself what lay ahead. Sure enough, every road and area was surrounded by fire. This meant they were all trapped, with no way out except to stay put and surrender to God's will.
Come on.
Kevin returned to the bus and informed Mrs. Mary about their current situation. Mrs. Mary suggested that they leave the bus and follow the residents who had gone backward on foot. Kevin replied that they wouldn't survive long out there. Their only chance was to stay put and endure inside the bus. Not wanting to sit idly and wait for the fire to reach them, Kevin came up with an idea. He tore his shirt into small pieces, soaked them in water, and used them as makeshift filters over their mouths to reduce the smoke entering their lungs. The children screamed in panic as they saw the fire consuming the bushes around the bus. Kevin and Mrs. Mary quickly got out, carrying fire extinguishers, and worked to put out the flames. Kevin was completely stunned as he watched tree after tree collapse from the fire engulfing the area. Realizing their lives were in imminent danger, he had no choice but to move forward and break through the flames ahead. And it always happens. In critical moments like this, there's always a problem. The bus engine suddenly stalled, and Kevin immediately got out to fix it. Here comes the most intense, heart-pounding moment they would experience, as Kevin drove the bus at high speed, plowing through flames on both sides, weaving past trees and bushes already scorched by fire, until finally, truly, what an extraordinary moment that was. Though slightly dramatized,
It's based on a real-life event that actually happened. Anxious parents waited nervously for their children to arrive. They immediately stood up when they saw Kevin and his bus approaching, even though it was slightly charred from the fire. After safely dropping off his passengers, Kevin got off the bus and approached his boss, who was far less irritating than usual. She looked extremely proud and thanked him for the incredible effort he had put in. Once everything with others was settled, Kevin now anxiously had to search for his mother and son, who still hadn't been heard from.
Kevin finally found his mother, who had been successfully evacuated with the help of kind neighbors. As for Sean, Kevin had to come to terms with the painful reality that his son chose to go and live with his mother rather than stay with Kevin, who was just a bus driver.
He's happiest when he's with her.
Shortly after the wildfires subsided, Kevin visited his former home one last time. It had been completely burned down, along with the cherished memories of little Sean, who had once been cute and adorable, now grown into a somewhat unruly teenager. Even so, Kevin still loved him because, no matter what, Sean was his own flesh and blood. Unexpectedly, Sean arrived with his mother, who felt sorry for Kevin having to be separated from his son. After the wildfire, it was reported that around 13,500 homes were destroyed and 85 lives were lost. Investigators concluded that the power company was responsible for the fire. The company admitted its fault and agreed to pay fines as determined in court.
The end.
The lesson we can take from this event is that sometimes disasters happen because of human actions, so don't blame fate and certainly not God. Thank you for watching this video. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.